Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right, so we are live on both platforms. So this one is called Half-Life. So hi guys, my name is Donnie Rouse. You're listening to the podcast One Life. Half-Life. If I asked you the question, how much time in a day do you have to live your life? What would you answer? I think it's common sense. Like the first answer that would probably come to your mind would be like 24 hours. There's 24 hours in the day. But is that really the truth? Like, do you really have 24 hours in your day? Think about that for a second before you answer. I was listening to a YouTube video, or watching a YouTube video, I should say, with Sun Guru being interviewed by Billy. I can't remember, Billy Bayou. I'm not sure of his name. Anyways, but it was very interesting. I wasn't even looking to watch a YouTube video, but all of a sudden, sometimes those things just kind of, they come into your mind, like they come into your screen, and all of a sudden you find yourself now watching an hour video. So that was my experience last night. But thankfully, because it was actually a really, really great video, and one of the tidbits that Sanguru had mentioned was about the amount of time you have to live your life, to build a life, to experience life. When he said, "Oh, well, how much time do you have?" A lot of people are like, "Oh, well, 24 hours." He goes, "Well, is that really?" He said, "Well, all right, well, let's say, how many hours a day do you sleep?" In the United States, he said, get 8 hours of sleep. All right, so let's take 8 hours off. And then how about the time it takes to eat, to shower, and do all these things? Okay, say 3 hours. All right, so now you're literally at 11 hours. When I was doing it for an account of my own life, I was like, well, oh man. All right, so I'm at 11 hours there. And then I have, I go to the gym for a couple hours. Shoot. All right, wow. So more than half of my day is already spent. And then there is still, I didn't even count the time I spend like doing my coffee and doing work. Great, thankfully, I chose to make my own path with the coffee company. But even then, right? We always have to be very conscious of how we spend our time, because it may work out like you literally have 3 hours or something like that to contribute to the life that you want to create. So the intention of this podcast here is not so much to freak you out because you realize that you really only have like 3 hours a day after work to create your life, but more to shine a spotlight to say, okay, well, what is the life that I'm currently living? And am I happy with the way that I'm spending my time? Maybe you only want to get 1 hour sleep. That's a joke. But yes, again, to shine a spotlight on this, say, well, how am I spending my life? And am I happy with the way I am spending it? I had given a story on one of the prior podcasts. I was speaking with a friend, and she was saying how she was doing a job that she hated. And as a result, she would literally every day, she'd be like, what the F am I doing here? Why am I doing this? She was very unhappy with her work, and as a result of being unhappy with her work, she would self-medicate with alcohol. And I felt really bad because, there's nothing, I was trying to give perspective, but I could tell that nothing was going through. But there's nothing that I could do, because we're all in our own timeline. We all learn the lessons when we need to learn the lesson. Usually it requires breaking through like a threshold of enough pain where we say like, all right, that is enough. That was it with me when I left the corporate world. Like I was like, I cannot take another minute of this. I'm done. I am following my passion. I'm doing my thing. And that's when I broke free. So how are you spending your life? Do you love your work? Or do you feel like you're being called to do something different? What is it that you want to experience? I'm going to do a subsequent post called Time Stops, which will get into what it means to put an end, like a date onto a goal. because our time here, like we're all given the same amount of time, so to speak, in terms of 24 hours in a day. But life is precious, right? None of us knows how long we're going to be here or how long we have. So with that, like, or then what is the purpose? What is the meaning of our time here? What is the meaning of life? There's different schools of thought. So, some people, procreate to have children and to have more children and keep it going. I like to say that life is about enjoyment. Life is about being happy. Life's about the pursuit of it, the growth and the pursuit of that happiness. And so, again, going back to the original question, how are you living your life? How do you feel when we take away the 12 hours a day that you spend like sleeping, eating, and then we take away the other 8 hours of your time at work? If you're working 8 hours of work, I know a lot of people were working probably 12 hours. Now you have 2 hours. How are you spending those 2 hours of your day? Is it usually exhausted and literally you're trying to escape? So maybe you go to the bar to have a drink. How do you spend those 2 hours? And do you need to reevaluate how you're spending your life, aka how you're spending your time? Because if you literally have 2 hours, excluding the weekends, if you even have the weekends, what kind of life is that? What kind of life are you building? And I'm not downplaying, or I'm not trying to, poo-poo on anyone who's working that many hours, literally only have 2 hours, because sometimes you could only have 2 hours and you could be more effective in those 2 hours than others can be with an entire day at their disposal. Right? Because you realize, right, well, this is the time I have to get things done. And maybe it's that you do that side hustle, but it's focused energy. And that focused energy gets things done faster because you have to operate more efficiently. So whatever it is, however you're spending your time, it's okay. It's okay as long as it's okay with you. Again, I just wanted to take the flashlight and shine it on you to say, okay, well, how are you living? So this way you could become conscious of it and you can make any kind of adjustments that need to be made. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast, guys. This was very much on a whim, but it blew my mind. I never actually thought about how many hours a day that I actually have to create the life that I want to create. And also made me happy that, while like there's areas I'm not, I know I need work on in my life, but there's also areas that I'm very happy with. Like, my experiences of my travels and how I experience life is one of those things. So it's just getting real with yourself to say, okay, well, where am I spending the time? Where do I want to spend the time? What kind of adjustments do I need to make so I can maximize the pleasure, the experience, the joy of life? So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please subscribe so this way you don't miss a single episode. This is all about building momentum, and the building of momentum is about listening to messages like this that say, hey, where are you spending your time? Let's get some awareness and follow your heart. So this way you can start to create momentum in your life and you can start to make new decisions because you're getting asked new questions. And lastly, I want to just thank you guys for tuning in. I know that you could be listening to anything, but you chose to be here with me to better your life. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. God bless you all. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to buy some awesome Rouse coffee, you can do so by visiting my website at www.donnyrouse.com. Again, www.donnyraus.com. God bless you. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you again soon.